Hello and welcome to Inside Edition Can't Miss, featuring stories you just have to see.
These were haunting things found underwater. In 2019, this GoPro camera was discovered buried at the bottom of a murky lake. It had been lost for years and was banged up, but the memory card inside was in perfect condition. Video on it showed 22-year-old Richard Wagner enjoying outdoor activities like ziplining and playing in a waterfall.
We live in life. We live in life.
The day ended in tragedy when Richard went underwater and drowned. His camera was discovered by YouTube personality Rich Aloha during a dive for treasure.
I'd been given a tip by a state park ranger that if I found a GoPro of an African-American male from 2017, that there was a chance that it would be the guy who drowned. I reviewed the footage and I was just like, oh my God, this is him.
Aloha reached out to Richard's family and they watched the videos for the first time.
They were just stunned, like they were just staring at the GoPro in disbelief. You just feel like you returned something so important to them that words can't describe how it feels. I don't think there's been a more impactful find.
In 2021, Cecil Foster watched his daughter's car that was missing for 21 years get pulled out of the water.
Kind of seemed like a dream almost a dream.
18-year-old Erin Foster and her friend, 17-year-old Jeremy Bechtel, went missing in Sparta, Tennessee in 2000. Police searched as far south as Florida for them, but the case went cold. Scuba diver Jeremy Sides found Erin's Pontiac underwater in Tennessee's Calf Killer River.
I'm lost for words. I'm so glad I could find him. I'm so sad that that's where they ended up.
The river, about 8 miles from the home Erin shared with her parents, is where Cecil had fished for years.
I fished, and my son had fished over it many times since she's been missing. I mean, right over the car. But, you know, water's always real murky right there, and I mean, there's no way we just saw, you know, the car anyway, I don't think.
They never had a memorial for her.
We didn't know if she was dead or not. I didn't want to pretend she was dead and, you know, find out she wasn't.
Remains from inside the car were sent to the coroner's office for an autopsy to confirm the identities and determine a cause of death. Sheriff said it was an accident.
I'm kind of numb about it. I really don't know. We've kind of been a way of life for so long, you know. There's a sense of relief there, but there's still hurt there too, you know, and that I don't know if it'll ever go away.
In 2023, Spencer Greiner was out catching fish along the river in Durango, Colorado, when he stumbled upon a lost camera. He brought the camera home. To his amazement, the picture card still worked.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you can like see on the memory card, like it's dirty.
There were photos of someone's bachelorette party, a wedding, even the moment the camera was lost after a woman fell off her raft. Spencer sent out a Facebook message to try to get answers. An hour later, he was contacted by Coral Amai.
I said, hey, this is my camera. I would have never in a million years thought I would ever seen those again. Well, thank you so much. You know, I would have never expected it, and I just really appreciate you. I'm still just blown away.
In 2022, divers found wreckage for one of the worst disasters in NASA history.
So what do you think this is, Jim?
A documentary crew from the History Channel went diving off the coast of Florida. They were looking for the wreckage of a World War II airplane, but they found something else.
Definitely an aircraft. I think we need to talk to NASA. It looks like they're deteriorating.
According to NASA, the divers found a piece of the Challenger spacecraft. The Challenger disaster shocked the world on January 28, 1986. 73 seconds after taking off from the Kennedy Space Center, the spacecraft exploded. All 7 of its crew members were killed. For now, the fragment remains on the ocean floor, as debris from the explosion is property of the U.S. government. In 2018, a team of researchers found the world's oldest intact shipwreck. The Black Sea Maritime Archaeology Project found the wreck off the coast of Bulgaria. It's believed to be from a Greek merchant ship that was over 2,400 years old. The ruins were discovered over a mile underwater in oxygen-free conditions. That lack of oxygen helped preserve the ship's parts. It's just one of several ancient vessels the Black Sea Archaeology Project found in a 3-year span.
We're talking entirely preserved shipwrecks from keel to gunwale. We're talking about still preserved ropes, shipwrecks that literally look as if they had sunk yesterday.
We're looking at a snapshot of a moment in time, probably as long as 1,000 years ago. We're looking at the last moment in the life of a ship.
There are ships down there that have never been seen apart from in murals and paintings and in books. And these are the first time they have been seen since they were afloat.
In 2022, explorers found the world's deepest shipwreck. The USS Samuel B. Roberts, nicknamed the Sammy B, was a World War II destroyer escort. Its mission, to fight off Japanese and Axis forces from the sea. The USS Samuel B. Roberts was there during the Battle of Leyte Gulf, reportedly the largest naval battle of World War II. In October of 1944, during the Battle of Samar, the Sammy B was outgunned by Japan's Imperial Navy. It was hit by a torpedo and sank. 89 of the ship's 224 crew members perished that day. An expedition team spent 8 days diving into the ocean near the Philippines, searching for this 78-year-old war grave. They found it, 22,916 feet, or about 4.3 miles down. Explorers are calling it the deepest shipwreck ever found. Beyond the risks of deep water dives, the explorers had other concerns with the Sammy B. According to lead explorer Victor Vescovo, divers spotted potentially live shells in the 44mm gun on the right side of the ship, as well as depth charges still in their racks. In 2020, underwater engineers found the wreck of a Nazi warship off the coast of Norway. The remains of the German boat were first detected by sonar 3 years earlier, but when crews from a Norwegian power company were able to examine the wreck more closely, they were startled to find that it was emblazoned with the swastika. The Norwegian Maritime Museum was able to confirm that the Old Hulk was the German warship Kosral. It sailed the seas in the 20s and 30s. It was seen here visiting Philadelphia in 1932, a year before Hitler took power in Germany. Here it is again in 1934, on a goodwill cruise to Australia. By 1940, the warship was part of the German war offensive, landing troops for the invasion of Norway. The warship was sunk in April of 1940 by a British submarine, the HMS Truant. For 80 years, it was on the ocean floor, some 1,600 feet down, undisturbed and remarkably intact until it was brought to light by these new underwater images. In 2017, divers discovered remarkable artifacts and human remains in an ancient shipwreck. Underwater archaeologists in Greece probed the 60 BC wreck. Some believe it's the richest ancient wreck ever discovered. The booty included the arm of a bronze statue encrusted with barnacles. Jewelry, pottery fragments, and other items were also recovered. Now work on the shipwreck continues with experts using sophisticated diving and imaging technology. They believe there are more riches to be found at the site, though what they learn about the ancient world will be priceless.
There's more Inside Edition Can't Miss coming up after this.
Imagine waking up to this beast. He even has a name, Albert. This woman is walking out of her house. Just an ordinary day. Suddenly, she screams. What's that sound? Oh no, it's a gaggle of geese, and they're coming for her.
In 2023, a diver made an incredible discovery at the bottom of the lake. It's a prosthetic leg with a shoe. Matt Spreitenberg was diving at Lake Natoma outside Sacramento when he came across his unusual find.
I knew right away what it was, just because I knew that the person lost a leg and they needed it back.
He posted this photo on Facebook. In a matter of just hours, he got a message from a woman with quite a story. Sabia Vargas explains.
A year ago, she and her boyfriend went paddleboarding. They went for a swim, and that's when the prosthetic leg suddenly fell off, shoe and all, and disappeared into the depths of the lake.
I was the first one to pop up out of the water, and I popped up out, and I said, holy cow, my leg's gone.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
He paddleboarded back to the shore and thought he would never see the $28,000 prosthetic again.
It's one of those things in your mind that you just figure, okay, it's gone. We're no longer going to get it. Then when she showed me the picture, I was just like, I just can't believe it, because I know that that is my leg. 100%. I'm just overwhelmed with joy and excitement. I'd give Matt a great big bear hug and thank him and say, you want to go have a beer?
Hey, I'm glad I got your leg back to you.
In 2022, there was an astonishing discovery 2 miles below the surface in frigid Antarctic waters. It was the legendary ship Endurance that sank 107 years before. The Endurance was trapped in ice during an ill-fated polar expedition led by the great explorer Ernest Shackleton. The Endurance's timbers still looked as fresh as the day the ship was launched because the cold waters kept the wreck well preserved. In 2023, rare images of the Titanic on the ocean floor were released. Some of the footage shot during the 1986 expedition to the world's most famous shipwreck had never been seen before by the public.
And then we came in on the starboard side of beam of the bridge, and the first thing I saw coming out of the gloom at 30 feet was this wall, this giant wall of riveted steel that rose over 100 and some feet above us. I never looked down at the Titanic. I looked up at the Titanic. Nothing was small. But then as we rose up its side, because we had to abort the dive at that point because we were taking water into our batteries, and as we rose up after that first dive that lasted just minutes, we began to see the portholes, and it was like people looking back at us. It was pretty haunting, actually.
It took researchers decades to find the doomed ocean liner. The research expedition's engineer explained why it was such a challenge.
Titanic lies in a part of the ocean that you would describe as an abyssal plain. It's over 13,000 feet deep in the ocean. The water is near freezing temperatures, and probably the biggest challenge is the remoteness of the location, and in particular the harsh environment with regard to the pressure that our equipment is exposed to. So every square inch or centimeter is being pressed into a smaller space by the crushing pressures of the ocean at this kind of depth.
And what the expedition's cameras captured wasn't just rusting metal, it was a graveyard. When the Titanic sank on her maiden voyage in 1912, some 1,500 people perished in the disaster.
You were physically seeing their remains, which were eaten away and the bones dissolved, but sitting there were pairs of shoes. After the Titanic sank, those that went into the water that didn't have life jackets died of hypothermia, and their bodies came raining down. So it was like tombstones all over the ocean floor. A mother's shoes with her baby's shoes. It was very powerful imagery to see where these people came to rest. And again, reinforcing that you were at a very sacred site where so many people died. And I think everyone wonders in their own mind, if I were there, what would I have done? Would I have, done anything to save my life? Or would I have, like the builder of the Titanic, Andrew, gave up his life jacket to a female passenger and went and sat in the smoking room and sat there and never budged till the ship went down with him. So it was just amazing play of humanity.
The Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute made the footage available to mark the 25th anniversary of the release of James Cameron's Titanic motion picture. These kids were found alive years after going missing.
Morning.
In 2022, Utah deputies made an astonishing discovery after approaching a man who was cold and down on his luck.
You want to come sit in his car and warm up for a minute?
Police found him outside a gas station in Park City, Utah. He got into the sheriff's car to escape the cold. Jim Murray explains.
They took his fingerprints in the car and then did some more digging and realized something extraordinary. He seemed to be a match for a teenager who'd been reported missing nearly 3 years ago.
Connor Jack Oswald vanished from his home in Clear Lake, California in 2019 when he was 16. He'd been diagnosed with autism. The sheriff's office contacted the missing teen's family.
Is it him?
A little bit older, but yeah.
My sweetheart's wife. Oh my God. He's my baby, you know? I never stopped looking.
Every day.
You don't know how many times I've dreamed of that call. Or just opening the door and he was there.
Not much was known about where Connor Jack was for 3 years.
Everybody in that room was a parent. And how could you not be that emotional?
What the sheriffs did is incredible. It was like winning $1 billion.
In 2021, there were tears of joy and disbelief when a family in China was reunited after over 2 decades. In 1997, their 2-year-old son was playing outside their home when he was abducted. He was then reportedly sold to another family. An official investigation into the child's disappearance wasn't successful, but the boy's parents did not give up. His father started his own search, and for 24 years, he traversed China on motorcycle, handing out flyers and following leads. During the quest, he burned through 10 bikes, all of the family's savings, and got into several traffic accidents. But he was determined to find his boy. His search was over when police located a man matching the description of the son. A DNA test confirmed his identity, and the 26-year-old man was reunited with his parents. In 2018, prayers were answered for the family of a teenager missing for 5 years.
She's alive. That is the best thing that could have possibly happened.
Emily Paul was 14 when she vanished in 2013 from Tallahassee, Florida. Melissa Parker is her cousin who spoke to Stephen Fabian.
5 years goes by and you and your family, you don't hear a peep, right?
Nothing. Nothing for 5 years.
Did you give up hope? Did you think she was still out there somewhere?
You never give up hope. I never stopped looking for Emily. I never stopped thinking about her. I can remember going out into crowds of people and you look at every girl who passes who's around that age and you think, is that her?
Out of the blue, a letter arrived addressed to Emily's mother.
In the letter, she basically said, yeah, I'm okay, I'm 19, I'm safe, I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm where I want to be.
A police captain posted a message on social media asking Emily to come forward so they could be sure the letter was legit and not written under duress.
Emily, if you'll do this, then I can close this case and I can have a peace of mind knowing you're okay.
To everyone's surprise, Emily walked into a local police station and asked to speak to a detective.
Her remarks to him was that she was happy, she's fine where she's at, and that she had a good support system.
There was a heartbreaking twist. Emily didn't want her family to know her whereabouts.
It's crazy, but she's an adult now and she gets to make that decision. I have no idea what it could take to get her to come home. I'm just hoping one day that she'll want to come back into all of our lives and be a part of it again.
Alex Batty was just 11 years old when he went missing in Spain in 2017. In 2023, he was found safe in France.
It gives me great pleasure to say Alex has now made his safe return back to the UK after 6 years.
The Greater Manchester Police says Alex never returned home from a vacation he went on with his mother and grandfather, neither of whom had guardianship of him at the time. The teen was found walking along a road in a town near Toulouse, France, and identified himself to a driver who stopped to ask him if he needed a ride. He was reportedly taken to a spiritual commune in Spain and decided to leave on his own.
We are yet to fully establish the circumstances surrounding his disappearance, but no matter what, understand that this may be an overwhelming process. He may now be 6 years older than when he went missing, but he is still a young person.
Alex was later reunited with his grandmother.
Imagine waking up to this beast. He even has a name, Albert. Now the Department of Environmental Conservation in New York has seized the gator.
I was devastated.
Tony Cavallaro can't believe he has lost his best friend.
As soon as they told me they're going to take Albert, I was blown away. I didn't know what to say.
It took 10 dudes to carry the gator from the home in Hamburg, outside Buffalo, to a waiting van. Cavallaro says he bought Albert at a reptile show in Ohio in 1990 when he was just a cute little hatchling. Now, 34 years later, Albert has grown some. He's 11 feet long and weighs 750 pounds. Cavallaro even built a $150,000 addition to his home where Albert had his own swimming pool.
Are you hungry?
Albert enjoys raw chicken and playfully chomps down on one of his ancestors, a stuffed dinosaur. He even gets his teeth brushed daily.
What a good boy.
Before Albert was taken away, public contact with him was prohibited. But Cavallaro doesn't deny that people have been in the pool to take pictures.
They were standing in a shallow end. Albert's down in the bottom, and she took a picture of him, and they didn't go swimming with him. Albert's a gentle giant. You couldn't make him bite you.
For now, Albert is with a licensed caretaker. But Tony Cavallaro says he's hoping he'll be reunited with his best buddy.
There's more Inside Edition streaming right here after this.
Powerful stories that change the way you think. Impactful investigations that change the way you see.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times.
Yeah. What? Do you think that you're a responsible owner of tigers?
I damn sure do.
I love them. Heartwarming moments that change the way you feel. I feel amazing. Now available in a place that changes the way you watch TV. Inside Edition, streaming.
Hello and welcome to Inside Edition Can't Miss, featuring stories you just have to see.
It's a record-breaking heist, $30 million in cash. The brazen thieves apparently gained entry by climbing into the roof hatch at Garda World, a private security firm that's a rival to Brink's.
One of the biggest cash heists in the city's history.
News photographers found this giant hole in the side of the building, now boarded up. But it's not clear if that's how the robbers escaped. The burglary unfolded on Easter Sunday morning at this Garda World money storage facility just outside Los Angeles. Armored trucks deliver large sums of cash here to store money for small and large businesses from around the region. Authorities are trying to figure out how the thieves broke into the building without triggering the security system. Could this be an inside job?
You know, the first thing I think any of us think when we hear a story like this is that had to be an inside job. Just think about the logistics of $30 million being able to move that much cash out undetected. That would take a lot of people working together extremely effectively.
This latest robbery is reminding people of the big rig robbery in 2022, when $100 million in jewelry was stolen while the Brink's truck was parked at a rest stop outside LA.
We had a lock on here. You had a lock on here, yep. And it's gone.
There have still been no arrests in that case. Now a new heist, one of the largest ever.
It was devastating. When you hear the words progressive and degenerative, it's terrifying for your child.
Amanda Burritt's 4-year-old daughter Emma is living with one of the rarest conditions in the world.
Emma was born full term. She had an uncomplicated birth. She was healthy. Everything seemed normal. She was reaching her milestones. She was rolling over on time. She was lifting her head up. Around 6 months, she kind of started falling behind on her milestones. She wasn't crawling. She wasn't able to sit up on her own. People kept telling us, don't worry, kids develop at their own pace. So we kind of just played it out. Had her 1-year checkup. The doctor was kind of concerned about her lack of awareness to the environment around her. Also, she did have low muscle tone. She had optic nerve atrophy and possible cortical visual impairment. There was nothing that kind of led us to why, but the fact that she wasn't able to sit up still at her 1 year, that was a red flag.
That silly girl.
They did test after test. On February 26, 2021, they got the results of their genetic testing.
We got her diagnosis of Cant, which is KIF1A-associated neurological disorder. I didn't expect it to be a neurodegenerative disorder. It was devastating. It turned our entire world upside down. I went into fight or flight mode, and we decided we're going to fight against our odds.
What is Cant?
KIF1A-associated neurological disorder, we call it Cant for short, a severe progressive neurodegenerative disorder. It's caused by a mutation within the KIF1A gene. The KIF1A gene is in the motor domain. Mutations within the KIF1A gene cause a wide range of symptoms, as well as neurological conditions like ataxia, cerebellar atrophy, spastic epilepsy. Every kid presents differently.
Cant is so rare, only about 550 people in the world have it.
And majority of the people diagnosed are children, so we don't really know what to expect for Emma's future. There are, I believe, over 100 different mutations within the KIF1A gene so Emma is actually only one of 2 in the whole world with her exact mutation. And the other little girl that has her mutation presents quite differently than Emma. So it's very hard to understand. There are children that don't make it till their 2nd birthday.
Many are misdiagnosed.
Because the symptoms kind of can be very similar to cerebral palsy, a lot of people get misdiagnosed with CP because it's just kind of an easier diagnosis to give than to explore the genetic testing.
Once they knew Emma's condition, they took immediate action.
It was very overwhelming. Because it is such a rare disease, the geneticist that gave us the diagnosis really didn't have much to tell us. We go to our phones and we try looking up what this means. We find some publications that, aren't very promising.
They also uprooted their life from Alberta, Canada.
I immediately started researching where in Canada has the best resources for Emma. Where's the best therapy? Where's the best schools? Where's the best supports? So we sold our house. I gave up my career as a nurse and we moved to Calgary. We left our whole lives behind. We left our family, our friends, just to bring Emma to where she would get the most opportunity to thrive.
Emma has various medical complexities.
So Emma, she has optic nerve atrophy and cortical visual impairment. She does have little to no vision. She is non-mobile. She doesn't crawl. She is nonverbal. She does have a wheelchair, but she's not confined to it. So because of her visual impairment, she cannot entertain herself. She doesn't appropriately play with toys. It's really difficult because she is 24 hours a day dependent on us, that we have to constantly entertain her all day and night. When Emma is at home, she requires full-time attention. She needs to be carried around the house. She needs to be fed.
Despite her obstacles, Emma is a happy girl.
Emma is one of the happiest kids. She's just so happy. As music is her go-to. Her whole life, it has been all about music. Thankfully, she has a great taste in music. Her cognitive level is probably around the 1 year mark. She understands quite a bit. She can point to her body parts when we ask her. She loves swimming and traveling. She loves new experiences. She thrives in new environments.
Emma, do you want more crackers? Yes? Good girl.
Emma also loves going to school.
They do everything. Physio, occupational therapy, speech therapy, vision therapy, like she gets it all at school. Her school has been probably one of the biggest blessings to me because it's so hard to hand Emma over to people because she's my glass child. I worry so much about her.
Before Emma was diagnosed, Amanda was a nurse, which has helped her tremendously.
I can understand her disease a little better than most. I know the system enough that I can advocate effectively for her. I do it with a little more ease than most people would because no one really knows about her disease. So I'm the one teaching most people about her and her disease. And it makes it a little easier because I do understand it better.
Emma's best friend is her 1-year-old sister, Callie.
Emma and her sister's bond is truly magical for me to watch. As she gets older, she's infatuated with her. She loves her so much. She does everything. She always wants to be involved in her care. I definitely do believe she understands that Emma's different. It's so great to kind of witness your child growing up knowing that there are differences out there. And I can't wait to see what kind of person she's going to become because of this.
Can you say yes? Can you say yes?
The family struggles with accessibility at times.
That one incident where Emma had just got her wheelchair, I was obviously sad she got a wheelchair, but I was so excited because it was like she was just so happy in it and it was so cute. And so we decided to take her on a little date night to a new restaurant we hadn't been to, and we immediately noticed like there's nowhere where we can put her wheelchair. As soon as the waitress saw us, she knew that like, oh, I don't know where you're gonna go. It really bugged me because I knew that this is a bigger issue, not just at this one restaurant. There's a lot of accessibility issues. Going to restaurants, going a lot of places actually. It is difficult.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yay, Emma, good girl.
Amanda uses social media to spread Cant awareness.
I'm constantly advocating for the organization. Since Emma was diagnosed, I've gone full tilt trying to raise money for the organization. I've hosted fundraisers every year. We've raised over $50,000 as a family to fund research for treatments that are currently in the works right now.
Because her husband's job requires him to be away for long periods of time, Amanda relies on a strong support system.
It's full time, and my alone time is when they go to bed. Just having those people that have stuck by me and constantly, even though they're not directly affected, it's not their child, they just show us so much love constantly throughout this whole journey. For me, that's what is most meaningful.
And she encourages other people dealing with a challenging diagnosis to find their communities.
Find your community, find people that are going through similar. I know people really, truly try to understand what you're going through. I found a lot of comfort in talking to people that share similar journeys, just because they just get it. They get the load, they get the stress that we're under. Yeah, that's just been a big blessing to have people that I can talk to, even if I don't see them in person, even just people I talk to online or whatnot. It's just still having people there.
For more information on CAN, visit kif1a.org.
Her husband warns her not to come out. He's afraid a trigger-happy cop might open fire.
A smash and grab all caught on camera. Watch as 3 men enter a pawn shop in Memphis, Tennessee. One holding a hammer smashes the glass display case right at the front of the store. 2 of the burglars reach for the goods inside and then run out, dropping some items along the way. As shoppers in the store look on at the crime taking place right in front of them. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers.
never seen a porch pirate like this. Watch as this garbage bag shuffles up to the front door. All you can see are fuzzy slippers. The knucklehead grabs the small package and scurries off. The homeowner in Sacramento tells Inside Edition that at first he thought it was a prank, but it was all real. And speaking of porch pirates, clear across the USA in Queens, New York, another porch pirate suspect walks up to a house and definitely got more than he bargained for. Watch as he casually grabs a package off the stoop and stuffs it in his backpack. But he never expected this.
Yo.
The homeowner comes after him with a bat.
What you got in there?
Nothing, man.
What you got in that
Yo,
bag?
this is my stuff. Yo, you can have everything, bro. No, yo, I live right there, bro.
Get on your knees. Get on your knees
Yo,
right now.
I live in the
I spoke to homeowner Carlos Mejia today.
What led you to pulling out a bat on a porch pirate? I mean, what brought you to that point?
Got tired. Just tired of people taking my stuff. Like, it's not the first package. I was nice this time, but I won't be nice the second time.
I live in the
She's cute as a button, but her arrival came as a total shock to her parents. Can you believe Mom didn't even know she was pregnant? 47-year-old Judy Brown knew she was gaining weight, but she thought it was due to menopause. Her husband Jason says when he touched her stomach, it felt a little weird.
This isn't like regular gaining weight. When you gain weight, it's normally flab and soft. It was hard. But we're like, it's just kind of weird, but we didn't think anything of it.
Then Judy started experiencing alarming discomfort.
I had strong abdominal pains, and it was getting worse.
She was rushed to Beverly Hospital outside Boston. That's when her doctor dropped the mind-blowing news.
Well, it's good news. You don't have any blockages or anything. You're pregnant. Okay, and you're going to have her now.
Dr. Kirsten Mousney.
I did an exam, and the baby was right there, so it was imminent. So she went upstairs to labor and delivery.
1 hour later, yep, that's all it took, Carolyn Rose came into the world. She weighed in at 8 pounds. Dad is still in shock. After 22 years of marriage, this is the couple's first child.
I feel I'm still going to wake up in the emergency room and feel, hey, this was only a dream. What? It felt so real.
So what are the odds that a 47-year-old woman would not only get pregnant, but also not even realize it?
It's very unusual for a 47-year-old woman to be pregnant and to not know she's pregnant, and then to be completing their whole pregnancy unaware of it, and then walking into the hospital and coming out with a baby.
The Browns are beyond excited about their baby girl, a little bundle of joy they didn't even know was coming. They missed the boat. The cruise ship that you see way out there sailed away, stranding 8 passengers on a tiny island off the coast of Africa. Jill and Jay Campbell, who live in North Carolina, found themselves left behind on the island. They were on an excursion to tiny Sao Tome off the coast of Gabon. They did not get back to the Norwegian Dawn in time. Rob Campbell is Jay's brother.
They knew they were running late, and they called ahead and tried to communicate with the ship. And once they got there, the last tender had left.
Local authorities pitched in to help. The passengers, including an elderly woman, were loaded onto a boat that took them to meet the link-up with the Norwegian Dawn. You can see it was quite an effort. But get this, the cruise ship captain still refused to let them on board.
Can you describe for me how Jay and Jill felt when they saw that cruise ship leaving the port without them?
Well, I think it was a little bit of disbelief on their part with everything they had tried in good faith to get back on the boat.
Norwegian Cruise Line says in a statement, while this is a very unfortunate situation, guests are responsible for ensuring they return to the ship at the published time, which is communicated broadly over the ship's intercom, in the daily communication, and posted just before exiting the vessel.
We've actually seen this happen before. Cruise lines generally have zero tolerance for late passengers who fail to get back on time before the ship sails away.
This woman, Julie Linkoff, was also left behind along with the Campbells, and her family is not happy with Norwegian Cruise Lines.
Norwegian should be bending over backwards to help these people, and they're absolutely ignoring them. It's almost like they're punishing them.
She suffered a fall on the island and had to be flown home to Palo Alto, California, and hospitalized.
I was completely outraged. We didn't sleep for like 48 hours.
It's a desperate rescue unfolding along a rain-swollen river.
Hey, keep going, keep going.
A woman is being carried away by a rushing current. Police race along a path above her, trying to keep a pace and reach her with a rope.
Go, 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 go.
Cops work in tandem on both sides of the river, shouting instructions.
Drop it, drop it.
They toss the rope, but she floats right by. Here comes a second attempt. But then, disaster. She's unable to hold on.
Subject has lost the rope, is now floating toward North Hollywood. Stand by.
Another team of rescuers arrive on the scene. They drop a life jacket. Now she clings to a wall with all of her might. Sparks fly as LA firefighters cut through a fence to lower a ladder to the woman in peril. She screams as she scrambles to take hold of it. But the force of the rushing water is too strong. She disappears under the overpass. Now, a rescuer from a chopper is lowered into the river as she reappears and finally takes hold of the woman. Up they go to safety. What led to this life and death struggle? The woman reportedly waded into the knee-deep river to retrieve her friend's cell phone, which had fallen into the water. But a sudden rainstorm turned the river into a potential death trap.
Within a matter of minutes, we went from 2 to 3 inches of water to 3 feet of water. So what looks benign could end up turning disastrous and/or deadly within minutes.
Across the country, swatting is on the rise with an estimated 1,000 incidents each year. Sending police to a home where there's no emergency is a form of domestic terrorism. And when it happened to one couple, the husband's main concern was for his wife's safety. Here's Jim Murray.
It's a dramatic scene as cops order a homeowner out of his house. It's 1 minute before midnight.
Keep walking back. Keep going. Keep going.
His wife, who is sleeping in the upstairs bedroom, now stands on the porch in her robe. Her husband warns her not to come out. He's afraid a trigger-happy cop might open fire if she makes a sudden move. But police are polite as can be. They try to explain why they've surrounded the house.
We received a 911 call from the Domino's. Someone placed an online order from this location saying, please send help.
They quickly realize he's the victim of the latest scourge sweeping America, swatting.
There's no one in the house. No one else.
No, we literally just woke up.
Just to make sure, police enter the house and confirm it's a false alarm.
Glad it's not real?
I spoke to the homeowner, John Atkins. Were you thinking this could be your last night?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as I was walking onto the porch, all I could think of was just keeping my wife inside the house. I did not want my wife to step out.
So what happened? Cops in Aurora, Illinois say they had no choice but to descend on the location after a local Domino's pizza place got an order via the app. And in the section for delivery instructions was a chilling message. Send help, it read. My husband has a gun and he's pointing it at me and my kids. But the homeowner's lawyer, Lee Jacobson, says the online order had been sent anonymously, meaning without a credit card or phone number. He says that anonymous orders like that have caused other swatting incidents.
The next time this takes place, somebody could end up dead.
We literally just woke up.
Powerful stories that change the way you think. Impactful investigations that change the way you see.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times.
Yeah.
What? Do you think that you're a responsible owner of tigers?
I damn sure do.
Yeah, love them.
Heartwarming moments that change the way you feel.
I feel amazing.
Now available in a place that changes the way you watch TV. Inside Edition, streaming.